Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. What kind of changes can you make with your health and with your life? The body changes every single day. But what kind of changes are you willing to make every single day to make it happen? To take yourself from where you are in your current state of health to where you need to be. The body changes, but you and your mind have to be willing to change. So much goes on in our mind, and we're unwilling to change, unwilling to go from an old place to a new place, unwilling to make that radical transformation in us so that we can gather new information, so we can have the want to get up in the morning, to make a difference, to get up in the morning a little bit early to go exercise, to cook a healthy meal, to have time, maybe with God or whatever you do in the morning. Spend time in prayer, meditating, whatever you're into. And taking that time for yourself, making that an important part of your day so that you can function and thrive and go to the next level in your health and with your life. What goals have you set for you to be able to do that? Well, we want to help you do that on this show in every way that you can. My book that's out in all the bookstores now, it's called Empowering Your Health. I want to encourage you to get a copy and start following the principles in there. It'll take you from where you are to where you need to be with your health, all the way from A to Z. Right now, we're going to go back to the calls and go to Jan. Hi, Jan. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Living well, darling. What's up?
I'm calling about getting some advice regarding a decreased libido in women.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And have you found a correlation between that and fibromyalgia?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you this. Here's an old adage with your health. Everything is correlated with everything in the body. It really is.
Yes.
So just as long as you know that, then the answer is yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So what's the main condition that you're concerned about?
The libido.
Just low libido.
Well, yeah, I know.
Let's back up for a second. How long has it been low?
Oh, not long. I'd say about 8 months.
Are you married?
Oh, yeah.
Happily?
I've been married a long time.
Happily?
Yes, absolutely.
In the last 8 months, happily?
Yes.
No major stress?
No. Well, other than, no. Uh-uh.
Other than what?
No. Oh, other
Life
than,
stress?
my physical, me having fibromyalgia. And, no. Oh, no,
Okay.
life is good. Really.
Okay. Fibromyalgia has been going on for how long? 8 months or longer?
2 years. 2 years.
2 years. So fibromyalgia for 2 years, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10's being the worst of the pain, what is your pain scale typically on a daily basis?
Right now it's real good, but I take a lot of drugs.
What kind of medications are you taking?
I take Lyrica and Cymbalta and, take a lot of drugs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, I get it. All right. Here's the deal. When you have fibromyalgia, we're going to hit both of these. Fibromyalgia, the one thing I want to encourage you, there is always a strong emotional component with fibromyalgia. Now, I'm not saying it's all in your head. Okay, I'm not saying
I know.
that, so please don't take that.
I know that.
I've talked to so many people, and they say, "Well, my doctor said it's all in my head," and they take offense to that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that
I understand.
somehow, some way, there's either anger or bitterness in your subconscious mind. Maybe something you're holding on to and you don't even know it. Okay, so there's some of that going on. There always is. There's some other things you can do practically, like today, that can make some big differences as well. Cutting down the inflammatory foods in your body, that's a big key. So inflammation is something that we get from our environment mostly, but we get a lot of it from the foods that we eat every single day. That's why in my book, Empowering Your Health, I've got what's called the anti-inflammatory diet. And it's a set of foods all grouped together that we've researched and studied, and we know that will cut down on inflammation in the body. And so that is a key. Your diet is a key. Emotions, big key for fibromyalgia. Diet is another big key. You get those two under control and really get those two working hand in hand, and you're going to notice a big difference in the way that you feel. I know you've got to stay on the medications and all that for right now. That's fine. But coming up with a good game plan where you're in control and you're making a difference and you're the one kind of driving the car every single day rather than the car driving you, that's kind of where you need to be. So the diet is where you want to start. Work on some of the emotional stuff, whether it's with a counselor. I would go to someone that you trust, and maybe they can start digging in a little bit to you, so you can kind of dig into some of the areas that maybe you don't even know that's there. And I've just seen so many people go through that, and they've just come out just with shining colors, flying colors on the other side. So that's one thing that can be helpful. Now, when it comes to low libido, I would get some blood work done. This is the key, and this is something we're seeing often. Let me go back for a second. What is your age again?
I'm 51.
Jan? 51, okay. So young, very young. And the thing is, women, when they start hitting their 40s, around 45, the menopause time, that time of your life. When you start hitting 45 to about 55, we're seeing a lot of low libido with women, a lot. And a lot of the physicians are talking about that different ways. Some guys and gals are using the pellets to raise up testosterone. That's kind of a big craze right now. And I'll tell you, it works. I mean, it's making the women be excited about sex, and their libido goes up, and they're excited to be with their husband, and they're into it again. It's like they're 25 again, and it's just everything's working. So, but the problem with that is a big rebound effect. If you raise your testosterone up as a female, let's say, just so you know, normal range for testosterone in a female, happy medium is about 35 to 55. Those are good numbers on a blood test. When you take a pellet given by some of the doctors, they'll raise it up to about 140 to 200. It's too high. Women get facial hair. They start, their voice starts deepening, almost like a male, and they get some side effects. I mean, really. One lady that I had spoken with before had actually taken testosterone so long that her clitoris had grown and engorged itself so much that it was extremely visible. And that's part of it. And see, these are side effects that you really don't want. You just don't. So what can you do? I would get a blood test done with your doctor and get the values looked at from all the estrogens. There's 3 of them: estrone, estradiol, estriol. Have them look at your growth hormone levels and your FSH and your LH. All that's really important because those are drivers of other hormones. The pituitary gland is kind of the master gland of the body, and that's just kind of what it's always been called, and it's a big driver. So you always want to check that out, make sure it's okay, make sure it's functioning all right. Get your testosterone levels checked, and all that can be assessed, and your physician will be able to come up with a good game plan for you. Now, if they don't understand the natural type of things that you can do to kind of get things where they need to be, there are preferred local providers in different areas that have been trained that way that you can get in touch with. So there's ways to do that and figure out naturally. Because, see, there's 2 different schools of thought when it comes to hormones. And I'm not opposed to bioidentical hormones and all that. I'm not, because sometimes people do need them. But the first thing you always want to do is you want to give your body things, whether it's through foods or supplementation or whatever it might be, or even exercise. Exercise can elicit more of a testosterone and hormone response in males and females. But you always want to push the body to make its own hormones, to reproduce its own. Because the moment you start giving the body exogenous hormones, meaning the bioidenticals or the shots or the pellets or whatever, the creams, once you introduce that into the body, it will shut down your own production, which was already low. It'll shut that down. And then, of course, it'll start relying on the pellet, relying on the cream, relying on the injection, whatever it is. And then your body's not going to be able to produce it on its own as well as it used to. And so that's something to consider. And that's why if you can use things like maca root and tribulus, and you can use different supplements that can help produce testosterone, or black cohosh that can manage estrogen, or wild yam root, which can help with progesterone levels, and you start looking at those sorts of things and manage it with blood work. You've got to keep good baselines and good clinical data about what's going on with your body. But if you can do that and then get it to a good place, then that's when you're going to start seeing the results, and you'll notice libido goes up, you'll notice the way you feel, energy levels, and then, of course, pain levels with fibromyalgia might even shift as well. There are hormone links to that. So, see, there's a lot involved. But the biggest thing is I want you to be encouraged, because at the end of the day, I know you just want you back. You want to be able to function the way you always have. You want to be with your husband who you're happily married to, and you want him to be, excited and not feel like that you're a stick in the mud and you're not really into him, because it may make him feel less loved. To build a really good, solid foundation, and on that foundation, he can build a structure that can last for years and years and years and weather all the storms of life. And the storms of life are always a key that people need to walk through. So important. Scripture for the day, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. It says, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. What a great scripture. Love it. Not some things, not every now and then some kind of thing, but all things. Have you ever sat back and wondered, I wonder if there are things in life that I can't accomplish? Well, if Christ is your number one, if he's the first place in your life, there's nothing in life that you won't be able to accomplish. Why? Because I know that book doesn't lie. It's been around longer than any other book. And that's not me just being an all staunchy conservative. 888-283-7272. You're listening to Best in Healthy Talk Radio. The body changes every single day. Are you going to make the right changes to change with it? You can. Why? Because your health really is your greatest wealth.
Did you know that you can listen to the ASA RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.